A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritvika Gupta. Tonight, as part of our very special Eye on Dubai series, we'll be first putting the spotlight on Dubai's clean energy landscape, and we're also going to take a closer look at smart investing for entrepreneurs. In the first segment, we'll be chatting with Zain Ravdjee, CEO, ZR Power Holdings, and in the second segment, a special conversation lined up with Harshvardhan Rungta, Director Rungta Securities. Now, ZR Power Holdings is a sustainable energy producer, and to really understand their journey in shaping Dubai's clean energy landscape, aligning with UAE's Net Zero 2050 initiative, Abhishek Sengupta will be in conversation with Zain Ravdjee, CEO, ZR Power Holdings. Have a look.
Mr. Zain Ravdjee, thank you so much for having us over. You are the CEO and chairman of ZR Group. It's a company that holds several companies across India and Dubai. And you've been working on sustainability. Of those projects, the one that really caught my attention are your green data centers. They cater to some of the big names around the world, Microsofts, the Googles, over-the-top platforms. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be on this show, and I appreciate the time that you've taken. So a little bit about our business is we've been into the business of clean energy. And we generate energy in southern India through wind and solar. And now we have been pivoted into a field of data centers. The data centers, for the common man, it's also known as the IT real estate or an IT warehouse. But it's actually a critical infrastructure where the use of 5G and the widespread adoption worldwide, India, in UAE and elsewhere, the need for data centers has increased over the past few years. Since the pandemic, actually, we realized that our lives are now on the internet. Everything that we do is somehow related to the internet. Whether it's a food or a transport that we order or booking a flight ticket, everything is internet enabled. Even the entertainment.
Data is the new oil, as they say.
Yes, indeed it is. And it's also because we need more data, and we will need more data than probably oil in the coming years. Yes, of course, oil is a very necessary fuel and things like that, but the alternative sources of energy, which is green energy, wind, solar, hydropower, and things like that, those are now the need of the hour. I think it's been a long time coming now that the world has shifted their focus from fossil fuel to clean energy. And clean energy in India is already very ambitious, the plans of the government, and also in the GCC. We have a lot of sun here and in India, so solar is a great way to go. Wind, we have ample of wind, and we have a huge capacity in India, and we're adding more. We have a plan to add almost double by the end of this decade when it comes to wind and solar power. And so the data centers that we're doing is under the name of a brand called Guardian
Data Centers, yes.
That's right. So this is a subsidiary of the main holding company. And the brand Guardian Data Centers caters to all the big names in the, whether it's in Amazon, Google, Microsoft, etc. These are called hyperscalers, as you might know. And we not only cater to these hyperscalers, as we've been conventionally been catering to them and the BFSI segment, which is banking, financial services industry. We also now, the new demand has come from the likes of the ChatGPTs and the AI demand. As you know, AI is the catchword. Everybody wants to know what AI is and what AI does, but now we're realizing AI can solve things which we needed more humans for. The solutions from AI for a person who's writing a book by ChatGPT or things like that. Or
I was going to ask you that how has that suddenly revolutionized this process of the need for data right now? I'm sure it would have amped up the necessity of having more data centers. And you do it with a lot of difference because you call it green data centers where you offset the carbon emissions. And that sets you apart.
Exactly. So essentially data centers primarily back in the day were known as smaller data centers or server rooms. Now a data center is a designated and dedicated building to host and manage data. We also manage cloud services, etc. And because of the new, the catastrophic demand because of AI, the need for data center has almost tripled. And Northern America itself has added 1.2 gigawatts in the past quarter. So a lot of data centers. Yes, indeed. So the need for data centers, even post-pandemic, is increased due to this AI demand and the likes of ChatGPT, etc. But even though, irrespective of that, data centers have always been a critical infrastructure, and we need this in every city, every nook and corner, whether it's a bigger data center like what we're building, to edge data centers which are smaller all over tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
And when you say you're actually building quite a lot of them in the region.
Yes.
In Dubai, you've recently acquired, I think, land to build data centers capable of sort of having 20 megawatts of IT load.
That's right.
And I wanted to understand at what stage is that, and what are your immediate future plans in the region?
Yes, so for Dubai per se, the country itself is, we have everything here. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the entire UAE, rather, the connectivity and the fiber optics is very well laid out. So data centers are a natural need, and the connectivity part has been taken care of. So in Dubai itself, we're doing a 20 megawatt, like you mentioned, IT load data center.
And 100 megawatt in the entire region.
Yes, in the entire Menasa region is the target, which we should be online by the first quarter of 2025.
Right.
And so we'll be building not only in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, we're also looking at Fujairah at the moment. And this will cater for the UAE demand and also demand that's coming from outside the UAE. Data sovereignty being a very important angle now, when people like to keep, governments, banks like to keep the data within the shores of the country. So UAE data, whether it's banking data and critical data, which is very highly secure and sensitive data, should, I feel, be usually within the same region. At least if it's a UAE critical bank data, it should be in UAE. So these kind of things are also leading to I would say the demand is increased. They're leading to a new set of fresh demand for data centers.
It is increasingly becoming easier for startups and organizations to raise funds out of Dubai.
Yes.
Do you personally feel that?
Yes. That's one of the main reasons we have moved to Dubai, because Dubai attracts all sorts of investor pool, and everyone wants to sort of stop by Dubai because Dubai has so much to offer. And even though we're building throughout the region, the GCC region and Menasa region, Dubai is the epicenter. Most of the funds or the private equities have offices here in the DIFC area, etc. So whether we're targeting sovereign wealth for raising capital or we're targeting other private equities, most of them have a setup in Dubai, in the financial center or region. So hence we have chosen Dubai.
You've been, besides your data centers, which come under your Guardian Data Centers branding, you also done significant amount of investments and work in other areas of sustainability. You've done a lot of work in clean energy, as you said, back home in India. If you can elaborate a bit more, and do you see any synergies between those line of your work and them eventually coming to Dubai in the future?
Yes, of course. So we set up our first pilot project in the last decade, pre-pandemic, and that's live and operating well in the southern state of India, which is Andhra Pradesh. And with that experience, we have realized that it takes around a year or two to set up these clean energy plants, but these are all 25-year-long assets. So they are good to go. I mean, with basic operation and maintenance, they kind of fuel our energy needs for 25 years, and with very less wear and tear. And so I think the same model is being replicated in Dubai in terms of solar power data centers. And we want to be the pioneer and the ones who are building these clean data centers where the whatever energy that is required for the data centers is offset by a clean energy plant in the vicinity, or which we draw from the grid, which is kind of makes it a net zero play. And similarly in India, we have a lot of land, and we are able to replicate this model in India and the GCC. India, the data centers can be closer to the clean energy plants because of the sheer land available, and on other geographies, data centers and the respective power plants can be a little further away. However, still that they do offset more than 50% of the energy requirements. As these data centers, they draw a lot of power, and the need is a lot.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
Talking about emissions, UAE's target by 2050 is to achieve net zero emissions. It has clearly laid those goals down. Over the next 5-6 years, it plans to spend 150 to 200 billion dirhams and to bring down greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, the target it is raised from 25 to 31%. And at a time like this, when COP28 is around the corner in just about a couple of months from now, how closely do you feel involved in UAE's sustainability movement?
Yes, of course. See, one thing you have to give it to the rulers and the government here is they've always been ahead of the curve, whether it is with the way they handled the pandemic. UAE was one of the first countries to have people go out and with the masks and with the safety protocols. As early as May 2020, if I'm not mistaken, I was here, and we were out and about, we were in the malls, we were living life as almost as normal, with of course all the hygiene and safety measures that we took. Similarly, UAE has been ahead in the clean energy transition. Even though this region has been blessed with a lot of oil and fossil fuels, UAE has always thought, I would say 10-20 years ahead, with the brilliance and the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. There is a solar park of almost 1 gigawatts which is built with his name. In fact, it's called the Sheikh Mohammed Solar Park.
Yes, that's the largest in the world
Yes.
of its kind.
So what I like is that they don't just plan and put it in 5-year plans or 10-year plans, they make it happen. And that is a great motivator for people like us. So if the government is doing it, why should the private sector not catch up speed? So we, with the support of the government, we also want to align ourselves with that goal and build and be a part of, in whichever way that we are allowed to here, whether it's a solar play or a wind play of energy generation. We plan to align our goals and vision with that of the His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and the leadership of the country.
Those are some massive ambitions, and I wish you all the luck, Mr. Zain Ravdjee.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you
and
very
I hope
much
to catch
indeed.
up with you very soon.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.